There are many things in business you only learn after many years of experience and a few failures. If you're lucky, you might have someone, a mentor, who will help you avoid to make some of those mistakes. I had that luck. My father, as I told you before, was and is, really, a successful businessman. And before I started out, he told me a few things that I always kept in mind when I was working. However, there were a few things I obviously had to learn on my own. So today I'm here to give you a list of 5 things to avoid. Some of them were taught to me and some of them I learned. And let's hope this helps you start your business journey and maybe avoid some of the mistakes I made. Let's get straight into it, starting with a rule that might make some of you uncomfortable. Never be afraid to ask real money. And what do I mean by this? Well, if either you sell a service that only you and maybe a handful of other people in your country can do, or you sell an item that only you can supply, something no one else or very few people can supply in your country, don't be afraid to ask real money for it. And I'll give you an example right now, an example that comes from me. I sell an item that has many different measurements, and there's one specific measurement that's needed for one very specific service. Obviously, every other store in my country only holds stock, if they even have it, for the measurements that sell the most. And I know for a fact that I am the only shop in my country that holds that measurement in stock at all times. This means that when a client comes, they normally want this for yesterday. So they come, I really need it. I need it right now. Obviously, the other shops still have to order it from the factory. I don't. Which means normally the sales from that specific item always end up with me. And I know this for a fact. I know that I'm the only one who holds stock for this in my country. So you can be damn sure that every time someone asks me for this specific item, it ain't going anywhere unless I at least 3x what I paid for it. And for you to have this in mind, that's normally double of the margins I get on the other measurements of this specific item. Some of you might think this is, oh, you shouldn't do that or whatever, but that's not how the world works. Having things in stock or being the only person that's able to do something holds a value. I'm the one having the risk. If it's such a great thing to have this in stock, why wouldn't other businesses have it? Why am I the only one? So if I'm the only one to have it, I can sell it for whatever I think I should sell it for. Every now and then you get a client complaining about it, especially when you sell items. If you're doing a service and only you can do it, there's nobody else doing it, you charge whatever you want and no one can really bat an eye. Maybe they complain because it's expensive, but they can't really do anything about it. But in my situation, the one I just told you about, sometimes you get clients complaining. Oh, but the other shop told me it costed X and yours is twice as expensive. What's your answer there? Well, easy. Then go buy from them. And you can be damn sure that that client is still gonna buy from you because the other guy doesn't have it and this client needs it for yesterday. So yeah, this was one of my dad's rules, by the way. So never forget, if you sell something unique or you do something unique, don't be afraid to ask real money for it. My dad worked with cars his whole life. He at one point became known as the guy who had everything. If there was something you didn't know where to get, you called him. You'd pay more for sure, and everyone knew that, but he had it. Always. And he told me a story once about a sale he did to an older customer. He had a classic car, Jaguar, I believe it was. And he was looking for a very specific part that he couldn't find anywhere. He told him directly, I've searched all over and I can't find anyone who sells this. Somehow, my dad didn't have it in stock actually, but he could get it from one of his suppliers. And so he did. He sold it to the client, and I can't tell you numbers because I don't really remember them anymore. But something like, if he paid $20, he sold it for 100, and it was much larger numbers. So he 5x'd it maybe. And still, after he made the sale, he got his money. And after all that, a few days later, the client called him, thanking him that he was the only one that actually managed to find the thing and sold it to him. All this holds value, the fact that only you can supply it. You don't always have to have that little margin you work with. In certain things, if only you can do it or supply it, ask money for it. Now, this rule was the largest one, I promise. Let's get to the second one. Always know your battlefield. Before you start out, figure out who your clients are. If you sell mainly to other businesses, this means you are B2B, business to business. If you sell to final customers, as in maybe you're a restaurant or a clothes shop or whatever, you are B2C, business to client. Or maybe, it's my case at least, you can be both. You can have both final clients or business clients. And why is this so important, you may ask? Well, when you're marketing, you need to know who you are marketing to. There are certain tools that are really powerful in a certain kind of marketing and pretty useless in a different one. For example, why would a restaurant do email marketing? Or maybe a business that sells something only to businesses, they maybe want to focus more on the email marketing and less on social media. This dictates exactly how you spend your marketing time and your money. Obviously, a cafe doesn't need email marketing, and an industrial safety equipment factory, for example, doesn't need TikTok dances. But a little side note, by the way, keep in mind that in B2B, it always still is very valuable to have an active social media. It's always valuable to be able to see what you do and to be out there. In my case, for example, I have both sides buying from me. I get final clients and I get large businesses and industrial companies and whatever. So for me, I have to do both email marketing and social media. Both are very important. But if you don't need either of them, you can save your time and your money and just focus on whatever is worth it for you to do. So yeah, don't forget this. Find who your clients are before you start working in marketing. Now to rule number 3, and since we were just talking about marketing, let's keep going at it. The cheapest marketing strategy is word of mouth. Have good customer service, treat your clients well, and trust me, word spreads, especially in a small country or city. When a client comes to you, shake their hand, greet them with a smile, give them a coffee and a bottle of water, and maybe a t-shirt if the sale goes well. Trust me, they keep these things in mind. Even better, and this is something I do, and speaking from experience, I can tell you this got me a lot of clients. You maybe work from 10 to 8 or 9 to 7, whatever. If a client calls you and says, oh, I can't make it in time, can we maybe do it later or something? Always say yes. Trust me, I've had clients over at Sunday mornings and Saturday afternoons and at night during the week. It has gotten me some great sales and some clients that kept buying, because I made their life easy, and sometimes that's what they're looking for. I'll give you another example of something that also happened to me. A few months ago, a client, he owned the business, came to me, he bought some stuff, and I did what I just told you to do. I gave him a coffee, a bottle of cold water, a handshake, a smile, I treated him well, and since it was a larger sale, I even gave him a couple t-shirts. And then, a few weeks later, his brother, who also owned a business that works in the same sector, came to me and also bought stuff. And I did the exact same thing. Smile, handshake, coffee, water, and a t-shirt. Later, a few weeks later, a guy saw this second client wearing the t-shirt, asked what it was, and came to me. He also worked in the sector. He bought some stuff from me. When he came here, he was on the phone with his friend, who also needed equipment I sold, and was telling him prices and talking to him at the same time as he was talking to me. And later, that guy came and also bought stuff. And you can see that from one client at the start, and from just treating him well and being helpful, I got 3 extra clients that not only bought, but they have been buying still. They've come back multiple times, some of them. So, word of mouth sometimes is the best marketing you can get. So treat your clients well and have great customer service, and I promise you it will pay for itself. All those coffees and t-shirts you give away, they will pay for themselves, trust me. And now let's hop on to rule number 4. A little more personal one. And by the way, this was also taught to me by my dad before I started. You cannot live paycheck to paycheck when you work in business. Your life will not be stable. Some months you make a lot of money, some months you make 0. But your bills and your life still keeps going, so you have to manage somehow, even in the months you made 0 sales. The main tip here is don't live like a rock star on the months that do go well for you. Keep in mind that hard times may come and probably will come, and you will need to have money to survive them. So you can't spend everything in the good months you have, because you have to have something for the bad months you will have, especially when you're starting out. Things will be really inconsistent and probably won't be the best, and it will be hard, but I can do it, you can do it. I can tell you that in my 4th year at this, I started at 17, I'm 21 now. I've had days this year better than entire months I've had before. Days, single days, better than months. So I can spend everything I make on those days and then be completely out of money in the months that don't work out so well. Also, if you can, fortunately I can do it. I still live with my parents, so I don't really have to get bills right now. But be very careful if you want to start in this life, or if you're already starting. Be careful when you decide to go into big bills, as in maybe buying a house or a car loan, whatever. Never forget that even in the months that don't work out too good, you still have to pay that bill. So, it's always great to avoid bills for as long as you can and as many as you can. So learn to manage your cash, both for you and for your business. And now the last one, something that maybe helps you have some peace of mind when you're starting out, especially considering how the gurus go about it on our day-to-day basis and what we see every day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Never forget that. Things take time. And I'm not saying it's impossible to start a business today and be successful at the end of the year. It's possible. Things happen. But if you are starting today, there's a very high chance you won't be successful at the end of the year. Not even at the end of the next year. Like I said before, I've been at this for 4 years now, and I'm not financially independent yet. I couldn't buy a house if I wanted to at all. And I don't see it happening for some time. So don't get discouraged, because things take time. Maybe you'll need to find something to help you sustain yourself, maybe a part-time job or some other thing, because this will take time. I mean, if you manage to do it in a couple weeks, great, I'm happy for you. But chances are you won't be able to do so. You're starting with zero knowledge. You're learning from scratch. I mean, you took 12 years in school, so how long do you think this will take? Forget the Ferraris and the 21-year-old or 22-year-old gurus saying do this and you'll have a Lamborghini in a couple weeks. Forget all that. Things will take time. And this goes back to the previous rule where I told you guys that avoid bills for as long as you can. Because trust me, if you are able to live with your parents, or you are able to somehow have very little consistent billing on your account, it will really help you. You'll be able to focus on what really matters, your business, and growing it, instead of having to think about how the hell you're going to pay the next car loan bill, or how the hell you're going to pay the next loan for your house, or whatever. So yeah, those were the 5 rules I wanted to tell you guys about. Keep them in mind if you decide to start working at this. Some of them I had to learn myself, some of them were taught to me by my dad. I hope this will help you. Keep them in mind and try to avoid some of the things I did. So yeah, that's it for today. If you like this kind of content, shameless plug, sorry, please subscribe and like. I hope to keep doing things like this every Sunday. So expect to see me next Sunday. And yeah, hope you have a great week and see you later. Bye.